And you have today like a research group with a number of PhD students, right? But how is that collaboration going? I mean, for one, you have normal PhD students and they do the normal research work, etc. But you also have the software center. So how is that collaboration with the industry really working? Do you have projects directly connected to them, or how does it work?
Yeah. So one, I have 3 types of PhD students.
Yeah.
Every university and software center gets 1 PhD student funded out of software center. And there's a very good reason why only one, and that is that we have a sprint-based model.
Yeah.
Our sprint is 6 months, and every project can get killed, or let me be a little nicer, can be stopped, can be cut back on, or get additional funding every 6 months.
So what does that mean? So PhD students start working and they could get stopped after 6 months
and that's why we only have 1 PhD student per university, because the rest is basically senior researchers, so assistant, associate, and full professor that are doing the work.
Okay.
And what we guarantee is not that a PhD student can continue to work on the project in which they started, but we have 5 themes. And we guarantee that there will be research activities within that theme that the PhD student can be involved in.
I love that. That's basically failing fast in research.
Yes, and that's really important, because what we do is every 6 months, I'm facilitating a group of industry experts. Every company sends 1 or more experts. Yeah. They evaluate all of the projects for the last 6 months and any new proposals that have come in. And they create a recommendation for the steering committee on which projects should get funded, which projects should get cut, which projects should get stopped, and which projects should get started. And that's not the academics that are involved in that. I'm the only, you could say, academic there, but I'm also only facilitating the discussion, and I'm not allowed to actually influence the decision making.
I'm really surprised. I think this is one of the most innovative research ideas I've heard for a long time, actually.
But you have to understand, both at Nokia and at Intuit, I was responsible for university relations in my area. Yeah. So I've been on the other side of the fence, and I know how many researchers have a tendency of first using you to piggyback on to get public funding. Yeah. And then once they get the public funding, they say, oh, no, don't call us, we'll call you. So you get the Hollywood treatment. Yeah. And they say, research takes time. We'll see you in 4 years maybe, or we'll call you when the licentiate seminar or the PhD seminar takes place. And I really wanted to design a structure where companies get something of value every 6 months.
Huh. We often speak about this, and I think this is like a truly innovative way how to approach the collaboration between industry and research. So this was quite good.
Very good.
Henrik has a question. We will have a lot of those, because if Henrik was here, he would be interrupting quite a lot and had like a lot of goosebump moments. So
would Henrik have those, or would I have those?
I don't know. Somebody. No, usually it's Henrik. Has your view on the issues that the software center needs to address have changed since the beginnings?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And what to address to succeed with your mission? Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, no, so it was, I mean, if I look back in 2011, we started the summer of 2011, the 1st of July. The big topic for most of the companies was adopting agile work practices. We probably remember that 10 years ago.
Still today too.
And that's still a topic today, but we do much less work on that part these days. The next part is then many companies started to look into continuous integration and test, because having agile teams working in sprints, but not knowing if the software is actually working or not, didn't really make a lot of sense, right? So, I mean, then continuous integration and test became a big thing. Then after that, we started to look into continuous deployment. And that is actually becoming a reality in the embedded systems world as well. I think many people know that Ericsson pushes out new software to operators that want it, to live base stations every 2 weeks, basically, right? And many of the automotive companies are working very hard on getting to continuous deployment. So we see a bit of an evolution there. And the moment that you can start to do continuous deployment, then things like A/B testing become feasible as well. Yeah. Right. So then you can start to do A/B testing in embedded systems. So to be honest, in a way, what I do is very simple. We look to the online world Yeah, and look, what are they doing that really works for them? And then how do we translate that to the embedded systems world? And then after that, with all the IT people on the call, I'm going to hurt your feelings, but my experience is it starts in online, software as a service, then it moves to embedded, and then finally the big, large IT systems follow suite at some point in the future, right? So that was one thing. And then in parallel to that, once you start to think about A/B testing and other kinds of things, you get to quantitative decision making, and then data becomes very important. So how do you work with data? Yeah. So that is clearly a big topic for many companies. Also a topic that unfortunately is very controversial, even for topics where GDPR and other things are actually really not an issue. I know that this is a sensitive subject, so we can go back to that.
We've spoken about this so many times, so it's
okay,
perfectly
good.
fine.
Yeah, and then once you have a lot of data, at some point humans stop being able to take care of all of that, and then you need to move to the next thing, which is then you bring in machine learning and deep learning to actually do smart things.
Yeah.